Hello and welcome to this review for Transformers Rise of the Beasts Beast Changer Mirage. So Mirage is part of I'm not sure if it's the second wave or wave 1.5, but he wasn't in the originally announced lineup of the Beast Changers. The original lineup was Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Rhinox. And however, in Canada, the release date was today, and we've gotten what I saw on the shelves were Rhinox, Optimus Prime, and Mirage. So either it's like a wave where they just change one character, or a second wave, or who knows? Well, this is all a mess with this release. But at least, look, if you're curious about them, this is a review to show you what this toy is all about. People were very curious about the size, especially, and hopefully this clears it up. First thing I want to show you is so in the box, you do see the face of either his concept art or a mask he has here. But of course, remember that we had all those images of Shatter with her mask in the Bumblebee movie toy line, and in the end, she had it for like just like barely a second in total in the film. One thing to note though is the gun he has here, which is actually a gimmick with this toy, and I'll show it to you later. The toy itself does not actually have this face, so when it comes to that, I'll show you. That's just one that I wanted to point out. So in terms of size, in at least in alt mode, and his alt mode is, it's supposed to be a Porsche in the film, and it's a approximate Porsche, but of course with no licensing of it, of course, and there's no licensing on the box either. Now, in terms of size, it's similar to the Scout class of old in alt mode. We'll see the robot mode if that's the case as well. Just in case the push the camera. There you go. So I'll just he'll come back later, or at least a friend of his will come back later. So here is Mirage. To transform him, I'm actually not necessarily impressed, but like I was surprised at how, even though the toy is simplified in terms of articulation and deco, clearly there's not much to write home about. It's not what I would recommend. I am surprised at how innovative the transformation is. Like, even though it's a car and we have a ton of cars and it's a simplified toy, they still find a way to surprise me with the transformation, and I don't know if you'll be surprised as well. So we'll get going to it. Here he is. The first thing to do is you unplug his arms. Yes, this part is rather familiar. We've seen that on lots of Bumblebee toys. Now this part's actually interesting. So you're gonna lift this up in the back. Yeah, there's like several. You'll see it. Anyway, so you lift this up in the back, and you lift this entire torso up. So that creates here the torso of the bot. Now in the back, there's actually two sets of hinges. So you've got one here, right? And you've got another one at the bottom here. And the idea is that you actually have to rotate this around because the legs are actually facing backwards. So I'm going to transform the legs now. You unclip them. You bring out the feet. Of course, you could tell they're on the wrong side. So this has to turn. And this is not obvious. Like I said, the setup of this toy, not entirely obvious for a younger kid that this may be intended for. So here he is, and now you're gonna have to see this peg, and it's gonna fit inside the hole. So the whole thing gets, that's why there's lots, it's very tight to get all this around. All right. Like you're juggling with several swivels at the same time. Of course, because I'm a pro, it was fine, but just messing around. But we'll see how it is with a kid, right? So then you bring this section down, and here is your bot mode. Let's see if he stands okay. Yeah, I didn't straighten out the leg. Like I said, what's tough is that he is back heavy, like you saw. Want to make sure he's standing straight. There you go. Perfect. Now I'll bring him close so you can see the details. So let's see if... There's the face. And it is Mirage like we saw him in the commercial, more or less, right? Voiced by Pete Davidson. So it's a decent head sculpt, decent detail there. Like I said, I like how the middle is formed. I found it very innovative for a very simple toy. But yeah, there's a huge lack of articulation. He does have knees, so at least there's that. He doesn't have elbows, but he does have universal ball joint for the arms. And I guess you would call this an extra shoulder articulation, right? So that's that. And he does have voice swivel, so that's fun too. Now, I'll show you the gimmick, then I'll show you the size comparison. The gimmick is very basic. So the gimmick of all these toys is that they have like these flip-out weapons. With Rhinox, sadly, it compromised him from having a fist. In this case, he does have a fist, so that's fine. If you can see it, it's there. So then just to do it, you flip it out, and here. What sucks is that you end up with like this part is all hollow, so it's not great detail. But yeah, he ends up having this gun, which, as we saw, was here. It's an approximation of what we see here on the box art. That's him. And now for size comparisons. Make sure he stands fine. It's not obvious when you have a camera in the way. Perfect. Good. So, speaking of old school Scout class toys, here's one from the Energon line, and he is taller than them, definitely taller. Of course, that makes him taller than most, if not all, core class figures as well, which are, similar size to the old school Energon Scout class line. And to bring in, I've got Goldbug here, who is a small deluxe, and let's switch some places around here. He's bigger than him too. However, if I bring you a standard deluxe, or at least what I would imagine a standard deluxe to be, so here we've got Slugslinger from the Titan's Return. He's much smaller. So I guess I'd say he's in between Scout and Deluxe, leaning more towards Scout. Of course, depending on which toy you get. If I compare, let's say, the Goldbug, it's not a winning formula. If you want some next to other smaller toys of the past, here he is next to Kickback from the G1 era. So much bigger than that. Okay, so I hope you had fun with this review. Hope this helped you at least know how big he is. All right, and I wish you all the best. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.